Well, the big news of today should surprise no one that's caught a Midships episode recently. A Carnival Corporation-owned cruise line is now testing the waters of cruising without pre-embarkation COVID tests. This is a big deal, and it's happening very, very soon. Oh, and we're gonna get new Vista-class ships here in the US. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. I got a few little housekeeping bits and bobs before we start into the cruise news. First and foremost, we are closing in on the 1-year anniversary of the Midships channel. And a big thank you to all of you who've become part of this family along the way. It's because of you that the email I received late last night came to my inbox at all, letting me know that Midships has just received our 1 millionth view on this channel since the inception in mid-July of last year, which is totally astonishing to me, and I'm really having trouble wrapping my mind around it even as I say it right now. But wow, thank you all so very much. Now, the other bit of housekeeping was I spent a good amount of time the other night and earlier this morning sitting in my comfy brown chair reading all of your amazing comments on the other day's Midships episode. And the big takeaway is that about one person out of 150 or so said that they want the pre-cruise testing to stay. Now, that's not a scientific poll by any stretch of the imagination, but some really good arguments were made, and the overwhelming consensus with all of us was pre-cruise testing is not really the way to go in the minds of at least the Midships audience. Now, if you disagree with that, please let me know. I'm still waiting to hear arguments from both sides of this issue. But really, thank you all for participating. I really appreciated all of the great discourse and points that you made. And if I haven't yet liked or hearted or replied to your comment on the video, just know I've probably already read it. Thanks so much. Now let's get things kicked off with a question of the day. Today's question of the day is as follows. When you book your next cruise, would you rather the cruise line show you pricing per person and not actually what your cruise will cost? Or would you rather the cruise line be more upfront and give you the full price for the cabin as you're looking at the cruises? Let me know your answer down in the comments below. I know booking cruises is one of my least favorite things to do because you're clicking along, you see an amazing price like a $30 Alaska cruise. Hey Carnival, I'm looking at you. And then you go to check out and it costs over $750. What the heck? So let me know your thoughts about this cruise industry practice down in the comments below, and let's get the cruise news of the day rolling. So as you may or may not know, the Carnival Corporation owns many cruise brands around the world like Princess, Costa, and in the case of today's story, we're talking about P&O Cruise Line. They're a UK-based operator. They've got pretty nice looking ships, and they've just announced that they're temporarily removing the pre-cruise testing mandate for one of their vessels. Now, this is a very limited time situation. It's one ship, but it sounds like Carnival through P&O Cruises is experimenting with just how operating untested cruises might play out. And to tell you the truth, after yesterday's story, I was pretty encouraged that maybe in the next few months, we'd probably see this type of thing begin to play out. But what I wasn't expecting was for it to begin as soon as this weekend, because starting June 25th, the P&O Iona, a sister ship to Carnival Mardi Gras, will begin running 5 voyages where any guests that are fully vaccinated don't need to take a pre-cruise COVID test. P&O Cruise Line has sent out an email to guests who will be on the affected cruises, letting them know don't worry about getting your nose swabbed. If you're vaccinated, you no longer have to be, and still you should be assured that your health and safety will remain a priority to the cruise line, and they still have numerous protocols in place to help ensure all of those things. And you know what else is a good thing? To ensure that you look incredible on your next cruise. And the best way to do that is with some Midships designed cruise shirts. Like this one right here, Home on a Ship. You can find all my designs in my Amazon affiliate store. There's a link in the description down below the video. Now, this pilot program for P&O Iona is only possible on certain vessels because of entry requirements, or lack thereof right now in the UK. If you weren't aware, and probably most of you aren't in my audience, you're mostly in the US, back in March, the UK removed the testing requirement for entry into their country. And I'm gonna make a point here. I remember back a few months ago when Carnival Cruise Line rolled out their Verifly pilot program for cruise check-in. It first started with one ship in their fleet, then it rolled out to one port, and then finally within a couple weeks' time, it was rolled out to the entire cruise line. So I would expect something similar to this rollout across at least the P&O fleet here in the next few weeks. It's just a guess here. I think if the data comes back like we would expect it to, we could expect most ships in the P&O fleet with sailings based in the UK to begin easing these restrictions in the coming months. And this might seem like a minuscule thing, especially for those of us who aren't planning a cruise on the P&O Iona in the next month, but it does point to a larger shift in the mindset of governing bodies around the world. And I think we're about to see the gates open on the easing of pre-embarkation testing for cruising. Now, there's one major caveat here, and I think you've probably heard it. At the beginning of this story, it centers around vaccinated cruisers. Again, only vaccinated cruisers, fully vaxxed cruisers, are able to just breeze on in without the pre-cruise test. Now, we've seen US-based Celebrity Cruise Line recently remove their vaccine requirement for anyone cruising under the age of 18. We've also seen Viking River Cruise Line choose not to require anybody to test to come on board their ships. So while one or two cruise lines changing their policies here and there doesn't signal anything in particular, cumulatively, we see that more and more operators are starting to point to the fact that we don't really want to have to deal with this type of policy anymore if we don't have to. In the meantime, it's important to remember that we here in the United States, cruising is still firmly under the thumb of the CDC, as long as the cruise lines continue to follow their procedures and their policies. And it doesn't sound like they're looking to move quite as quickly as P&O Cruise Line is able to do in the UK. So we're just gonna have to sit back, remain patient, and hopefully in the next couple of months' time, we're able to start seeing cruise lines pull back on these requirements. Hopefully the CDC proves me wrong and actually makes a decision quickly for once, but historically speaking, that's not been a thing for them. So what do you think about all the uncertainty of the future of pre-embarkation testing? Sound off with your opinion in the comments down below. I'll be in the comfy brown chair once again tonight, taking a little bit of a read in the comments section and replying. It's a really good way to get in touch with me. And I'll also be working out some of the special activities that we're gonna do on my group cruise. If you don't already know, I'm hosting a cruise October 24th out of Charleston, South Carolina on board the Carnival Sunshine. If you'd like more information about how you can cruise with me, there's a link to a Facebook page in the description below this video. And here's one as well. And while we're talking about Carnival really quick, I do want to note, have you ever cruised on a Vista class ship for Carnival? Be it the Vista, the Horizon, or the Panorama? Well, apparently Carnival Cruise Line has decided we don't have enough Vista class ships here in the US because it's just been announced today that Carnival will be operating 2 Costa Cruise Line ships here in the USA over the next 2 years. The ships in question, the Costa Venezia and the Costa Firenze. Not sure if I pronounced those correctly, but we're gonna roll with that. Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy said she's excited to invite their guests to choose fun with Carnival Italian style. She went on to say they're excited to operate 2 beautiful Vista-class ships in the USA and bring the unique experience for cruisers who love culture, food, and the vibes of Italy. So it sounds like the cruise line's not going to be making any major changes to these ships when they come over here from Italy, which means we might even see that big yellow round funnel on top of these cruise ships. No whale tails. Very interesting. Have you ever cruised aboard Costa? So if you made it this far into today's episode, make sure you subscribe here to the channel with the bell notification turned on. As always, the thumbs up button goes a long way to help support this channel. Thanks for stopping by today, and until tomorrow, we'll see ya on the Midships. Whew, just a couple more days till cruise time. I got Claire, the Midships cat, is sitting right behind the camera. She pushed the record button for today's episode, but I think she's a little bored. She fell asleep. I gotta get running. I have some packing to do. Oh, and Claire, the Midships cat, she wants some treats. We'll see you tomorrow.